All right, Jenna, thank you. The iconic St. Basil's Cathedral right behind us. We are in the middle of Red Square, Kremlin right over my right shoulder, and we are just minutes away from the vote to take place to find out who will be the host nation or nations for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Again, the 2018 FIFA World Cup kicks off tomorrow on Fox. Your host country, Russia, set to take on Saudi Arabia. We have a preview show tonight at 7 Eastern on FS1. But the big news right now outside of Spain, firing their manager one day before the World Cup starts, is what's taking place live right now at the Moscow Expo Center, just a few miles away from us in really the center of Moscow right now. They are moments away, Alexi, from voting for either Morocco or the United Bid, which would include the United States, Mexico, and Canada. Real quick, why is this so important for the United States?
Well, as I mentioned, I think that this can be a seminal moment. It can be a moment that changes a generation. We know what the culture is in all three of these countries, but in particular in the United States, what the soccer culture is in 2018. Think of what it's going to be in 2026. Think of what it was in 1994. And all of the significant benefits on and off the field that resulted in the Men's World Cup in 1994. You can do that, and you can do that with an injection. But it's not a panacea, but it is a hell of an injection to give to a country, to a culture, and to a sport.
I want to talk about the vote real quick. For the first time ever, it is one nation, one vote, simple majority, transparency. Every nation who they voted for will be out publicly as soon as the Congress closes. The magic number that we're working with right now, that is slightly fluid, is 104 votes. We talked to the U.S. Soccer President Carlos Cadero, and he'll tell you there is a path to victory for this United Bid. Again, for the first time ever, there's no more executive committee voting on who will host the World Cup. It is every voting member nation gets one vote. You need a simple majority to win that bid on the first vote. It could go to a second. You're looking live right now at the United Bid contingent, and the voting is starting right now. Nervous moments right now in Moscow. It's an electronic vote, so it is going to happen instantaneously. Again, we never got a final number of the nations voting. We think it's 206, meaning a magic number of 104. So voting taking place. Remember, the 2026 World Cup, the first to expand to 48 countries, meaning 80 matches, over 1,100 players. The United Bid promising $14 billion in revenues, $11 billion in profit for FIFA. The infrastructure is there. Morocco has a lot of work to do. They were deemed a high risk due to their lack of infrastructure by the FIFA Evaluation Committee, but these nations, Lexi, are voting the way they want to, not the way they have been instructed, at least through how the tours have taken place.
The results are ready, and I'm giving back the floor to FIFA President to announce the winning bidder.
Thank you very much, Secretary General. So we have a winner for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The member associations of Canada, Mexico and USA have been selected by the FIFA Congress to host the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Thank you.
That's a big one.
Dear delegate, ladies and gentlemen, silence in the room, please.
I would like to ask now the representatives of the United Bid to come on stage, please, and the President of CONCACAF, please.
Well, it has been a rough couple months for U.S. soccer. The men's team failing to qualify for the World Cup this summer here in Russia. that was some much-needed news, not just for America, but for North America. You see the United bid, the relief, the amount of hours, the travel that they've put in, the millions that they've invested over the course of the last couple weeks to try and secure this bid. This is a game-changing moment for soccer in the States.
You know, I'm a cynical, grumpy old guy, and I think back to 1994. So what happened? This is awesome. This is awesome for all three countries. This is awesome, not just for the sport, and not just for the future of the sport on the field, but off the field, and the culture and the significance of this joint bid. All of the hard work and all the men and women that worked so hard for so many years to make this happen. And as I said in the start, this is also this light post, this 2026 moment that we can work towards. And we're coming into a World Cup here. There's so much going on here. We're sitting here about to get ready to televise a World Cup that doesn't have a United States team, doesn't have a Canada team there. This is a wonderful message to come on the air with. We're going to have wonderful games in this World Cup, but man, oh man, to be able to look to 2026, it warms the cockles of my heart. That is awesome. Man,
I'm not sure you would be here without World Cup 1994.
No. I live the power, and we get to do it again, and damn, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you heard yells throughout the complex here on Red Square. Some of them were you and me, my friend. So, yes, here's what's still to come in the World Cup future for us. The Men's World Cup kicks off. Oh, by the way, tomorrow, my friend, the Women's World Cup.
I should have recovered by then.
Yeah, we've got a location already penciled in Paris for next summer. Qatar in 2022, the Women's World Cup still to come, and in 2026, the World Cup coming back to North America, the U.S., Canada, Mexico, victorious.
All right, guys, thank you so much. So there you have it, the United bid.
That's awesome.
Will be hosting the World Cup in 2026.
But honestly, had we been beaten out by Monaco?
Would not have been great. Would not have been great.
Morocco's a great country.
Morocco,
We'll still call it a win, Doug.
But here's the thing. Reason why
1/16.
I think here's the reason why it's great. Even if you're like, I'm probably not going to travel to one of the games or anything like that. Is having the World Cup in your general time zones makes following it so much easier. And so that's awesome. And for the United States, like Alexi said when he was getting choked up, this was not making this World Cup was obviously a very low moment for U.S. soccer. You now have, it's not only making the 2022 World Cup, but we're going to be the hosts in 8 years. Can you compete for an actual champ? Can you make the quarterfinals? Can you make the semifinals in 8 years? That's awesome.
Well, and I think also it's like message received. Qatar obviously did not go over well. We're like, man, something's up. And they expand the field because I think they want us to be a part of the rest of the world. And now we are. We'll be a host. Hopefully be gracious. Hopefully we'll get the finals. And hopefully in L.A., selfishly, in the new stadium.
So everything's worked out the way you wanted it.
Honestly, this is an awesome moment.
We haven't hosted it since '94. And Canada and Mexico obviously are hosting as well.
Yeah, whatever.
United bid, but the whole thing, it's great.
Alexi called this a moment that changes the generation. So we shall see again. The FIFA World Cup kicks off tomorrow. So we look forward to that. Coming up next.